Hey YouTube, what's going on? How was everybody today? It's nice. So I want to talk about Themselves. This is their No Music album released in 2002 on Anticon Records. Themselves is the duo of DoesOne on the microphone and a guy named Gel doing the whole DJ producer thing. Gel is probably one of my favorite beat makers around. He uses a lot of, synthesizers and drum machines and cool horn samples and all kinds of, he does droning noises. He'll incorporate noise in general, like buzzing, claps, and children's toys. And he's pretty unconventional. He makes sometimes dense, sometimes sparse beats, a lot of drum programming and stuff. He'll play the sampler. There's lots of builds, and some parts of it do this whole kind of sputtering sound. He can do fast and drummy to slow and droney and very fractured and stuff. And then the DoesOne. DoesOne's pretty much a trademark staple of the Anticon label. I'm getting a little tired of listening to DoesOne, to be honest. His nasally voice and his whole rapid fire rhyming is wearing a little thin with me. He raps so fast that it's incomprehensible, sometimes unintelligible. He is a very lyrical guy. He uses a lot of cool inside jokes and dark imagery, and I don't know if he's trying to be confessional sometimes. He talks about dreams, but he's the kind of guy, like I said, it's unintelligible, so you really have to pay attention and listen carefully and re-listen to understand what a song's really about and what he's talking about. So while you're doing that, you're never really sure if it's worth getting into, if there is a message anywhere, or if he is just trying to stimulate your brain somehow with stream of consciousness kind of stuff. You're really never sure what the message is. I could decipher some messages on this album, and it's all kind of anti-conformity, anti-convention, gangster posturing, anti-mass marketing, and all kinds of, common sense kind of things that anyone with a brain would kind of realize. But he'll also do it in the stream of conscious dream kind of flow, and it'll be really, really fast and do double layered vocals, or vocals are layered on top of each other. And all these kind of nostalgic and obscure references. It's very, very whiny on it. His voice is very whiny and kind of drony. He kind of does this, like I said, he can do rhyme fast, rhyme slow, do a little bit of I don't know, crooning, I guess it's called. But I don't know if he's trying to make himself see self-important, but I don't know. With anything with Anticon, it's very much so a love or hate relationship. You don't really sit on the fence. My favorite part of this album was Gel's beats, because Gel's beats sound a lot like Odd Nosdim's beats on here, and I love those kind of abstract, experimental hip-hop kind of beats where it's just anything goes in the kitchen sink kind of shit. And I don't know. Gel does a very good job keeping the whole album afloat. Very dark and ethereal at times. But yeah, this is very much so your typical Anticon release, especially since DoesOne's on it, because he pretty much personifies the Anticon sound to me. But yeah, this is the follow-up to the Them album. They used to be called Them in 2000. They had an LP that dropped. Some people online were calling this nerd rap, and I think it might be nerd rap too. It's kind of nerdy, I guess. If you're some sort of weird poetry major, English major, or literary major or something. I don't know what they take in university to learn this shit. When I was in college, I took theater production, so I don't know. But yeah, not that DoesOne isn't I'm not trying to say he's not talented. I just think he's he's just wearing thin with me. He's getting a little annoying. Because he is very lyrical, he's a very talented guy. He's very much so buried in the mix here too, making him even that much more indecipherable on this album. But yeah, it's not that he's not a smart guy, he's just, wearing thin with me a little. Especially on his later stuff. I got this album, not right when it came out, but I was working at a record store just trying to get into this abstract hip-hop scene that I just discovered. And this is definitely one of the more abstract albums I heard. But it's totally Gel's atmospheric kind of beats that keep the whole thing afloat. Go through the album pictures really quick. There's a picture of the two of them there with some oil tycoon looking cowboy. Looks like Middle America or something, one of the red states. Picture of a guy with his head chopped off, with some gobbledygook lyrics that are hard to read. This one looks like a teacher graded it, and this is the where he's talking about shoving the gun up your ass, you're as good as dead, and the teacher wants to see him after class about that. There's a little picture of them doing the whole fake posturing thing in front of their mansion, bam, written in diamonds. We got some black lungs here, and I think this might be one of the sperms that I made a video about on my You Shouldn't Be Dancing video about this user named Eugenicium, about how the needle drop doesn't understand heavy music. I think this might be one of the sperms that his father put it in his mother to conceive him. I'm not sure. This cool thing there about no black holes, dangling angel wings on it. Picture of a guy with no skin, anatomy pictures, more weird lyrics. It's that simple. Don't leave your kids in boxes. So I guess it's just like trying to think outside the box hip hop, I guess is the imagery there. But there's a whole bunch of like no symbols. Since this album's called the No Music, like no eyes, no saws, no bikes. There's no barbed wire, no aliens, no man, no woman, no trains, no roller skates, no fast food, no guns, no police, no teeter-totters even. Like, all kinds of funny things going on there. It's kind of a cool picture. Sperm turning into screws. Pills being lifted up into the air by a balloon. I don't know. There's one track where he kind of goes about it being a drug addict, but I don't really know if he's a drug addict in real life. A tree with a devil in it, maybe some biblical references there. More people, more anatomy pictures. And yet again, maybe he's trying to flesh out hip-hop, but yeah, it's a worker ant, the Anticon symbol. But yeah, this is definitely not conventional hip-hop at all. It's very much so experimental and abstract. It's got a lot of electronica like injected into it. But yeah, like I said, I'm just getting probably tired of DoesOne's rapping. If you can handle that and you like kind of nerdy, very wordy lyrics like that, and you like kind of abstract, fractured beats, and it's very varied and very kind of, you know, stuff you have to spend a lot of time with, stuff you have to really pay attention to decipher any meaning, if there is any. For me, I just enjoyed this album just because Gel's beats were very enjoyable, and I really liked those kind of like experimental sounding hip hop kind of shit. That floats my boat just fine, but DoesOne is kind of wearing out his welcome with me. Very reminiscent of his other band, Cloud Dead. Sounds a little bit like early LP. Sounds like their band Subtle and like Odd Naughty. Sounds like them, like I mentioned before, and their other band Reaching Quiet. Themselves, the No Music, 2002 Anticon Music. Sorry for wasting your time. Peace.